Hey there, welcome back. So in the last video we completed this slider component. So in this video we'll complete the features component as well as the pricing component, that is this one. So this you see here, upload option, wait option and prompt option, that is the features component. So we'll complete that, and as well as the pricing component. Okay, so this one. So let's get started with this features component. So heading back to VS Code. Okay, so what we do, we'll create a same in the homes folder. We'll create a new file called features.tsx, and then write component related to this feature. Okay, first if you see, we had there so going back to this this browser, if you see, it's like, each is like some one item where only the svg and also the text and title is changed. So what we'll do here is, like, we will write one component for one item and then use this as three items in another component and then render that. Okay, so let me go back to this VS Code and then define that item as just item, and here input params, we will define input param is icon name, that is the svg which was differing for each item, and also the title section, and also the children is nothing but the content within it. There you saw the some content for each item. So since it's a TypeScript, we will define the types for this. So let's name the interface as, like, item prompts, and icon name, so icon name would be string. Okay, and then title would be string, and then children would be of react.react node. Okay, so this one, yeah, so this is the type. So now we will assign that type here like this, item props. Okay, so now inside this, what we'll do, we'll use the flex component of ChakraUI, and then align items center, and then direction, obviously it is column. Okay, and then padding will give s4 in all directions. Okay, and in this we will first thing what we need was the image. Okay, so image from, we'll take from ChakraUI itself, image, and let's name this as alt logo. Okay, and the direction, sorry, not direction, source is icon name. Okay, and width, we will restrict the width, so we'll restrict the width to 8 rems. Okay, so this is the first image, and the next was the text. Okay, so we'll use the text component, and aligning will align in the center part. Okay, and then font weight will give it as something like bold 900, and then font size I'll give it as a 2 extra large. Okay, and a margin type give it as a 3, so that there will be space between the image and the title. Okay, so inside this we'll use that title argument. Okay, so that this text was for title, and one more thing is for the content of it. Okay, so we will use one more text, and the max width we will give constraints. Okay, so max width, if depending on that the screen size, if it's a base, we'll give it as a 20 rems, and if it's a large screen, we will give it as a 13 rems. Okay, yeah, and then margin top will give it as a 2, so that there will be space between title and its content, and text align obviously will make it as a center, and then font size will make it as a large. Okay, and inside this we'll render the children's. Okay, fine. So this is the items component. So now what we'll do, we will create one more component, and in that we will use that item component. So let's name this as a features component. Okay, so here input params nothing, so, and then directly will return, and then Here we will use the inside flex, we will use this items component, and width I'll give it as 100%. Okay, and then background color, what we'll give some background color, so that is white alpha, give it as a 900. Okay, and the padding y direction I want it as some 10, and a flex so that it will occupy as much space it needs. Okay, now inside this I'll create one more flex, and okay, yeah, so flex and padding x direction, if it's a base we'll give it as a 4, if it is large screen, none. Okay, and then padding y direction we'll give it as a 4, and the width I'll make it as 100%, and then flex direction as column. Okay, and give margin as auto, and then max width containers large we will give. Okay, so that is this one. Fine, so this inside this, now here since it was like 3 columns, we will use the simple grid. Okay, kind of like we'll give the columns as a 3, and then inside that we'll use the each item component. Okay, so let me use that simple grid from ChakraUI, and margin bottom will give it as a 10. Okay, and columns, if it's a base, I mean a small screen, will give 1 column, or else we'll give it as a 3 columns. Okay, fine. Now inside this I'll use the each item component. First, icon name, we have the icons defined here, that is preview.svg, publish.svg, and square.svg. so we'll use those 3 svg icons here. Okay, fine. So publish.svg, and title, first title was upload, right? So I'm giving here, and the children is the content, that is upload, and we'll make this as a bold. Okay, so here some selfies of you, that text. Okay, you can write whatever, or other person with the different angles. Okay, and that was first item, and here second item, icon name would be the square dot svg. Okay, and title is weight. Okay, and then the text will give it as like something like take a coffee while we'll build your studio. Okay, in a bold based on your photos. Fine, so this was second item, and then last item. So last item here, icon name is preview.svg, and then title is prompt. Okay, and then content here is use your imagination to craft the perfect prompt. Okay, we'll give it inside the bold. So this is the this is it. So we will export this features component. Okay, and then use this in our main page. Okay, that is index page, home page. So here we will use that features page, so I will just import that features. Okay, so here now if you go ahead and see the browser, go here and see here. Yeah, if you see, we got the feature section with just 3 components, that is each component is item, upload, weight, and prompt. So that was for the features. So now we'll go ahead with the this pricing section, and we'll complete this one as well. Okay, so I'm moving back to VS Code. Okay, so let's complete that as well. So what we'll do, we'll create a new file name called pricing. Okay, so let's create that pricing.tsx. Okay, and in this we will create those two that pricing section here. Okay, so here what we'll do here is, okay, let's define the component name as pricing. Okay, just like file name, and input params nothing I'm expecting, so we will not use that. And also you see here we will again use here simple grid, since we had 2 columns there, so in and give some border for it. So simple grid, and width will give it as 100%. Okay, and then spacing will give it something like 6, and columns same, or if it's a base we'll give it as a 1, or else we'll give it as a 2. Okay, fine. So now inside this we will create 2 boxes. Okay, one for the left part and the other for the other right part. Okay, first we'll give box here, box from ChakraUI. Okay, yeah, so here first we'll give the background color. So background color, it's white. Okay, and then give border. So if you see there was like solid black border, so give some pixel, like let's give as a 4 pixel and make this as a solid, and color as a black. Okay, fine. So now border radius, so border radius will give something 10, and the padding in all direction will give 8, so that there'll be enough space between border and the content. And then transition I'll give it as all, and duration as 250 milliseconds. Okay, fine. So this is the box, and inside this we'll give the text. Okay, you saw there why not free, and also training custom model is expensive, that content, right? So here we'll use the 2 text components of the ChakraUI, and then wrap the text inside this component. Okay, give some margin top as 2. Okay, and the font weight I'll give it as a black. Okay, and the font size will give as a big one, like let's say it's a 4 times XL. Okay, 4 XL. And here the text what we wanted to say. Okay, let's that text why not free. Okay, and then inside next text. Okay, so next text, and the margin top will give something like 2, and margin bottom as 4. Okay, and inside this we'll give the content, that is training a custom AI model is expensive due to the resources required. Okay, so now this is the thing we created. So what we'll do is like, okay, let's go to the index page and use this component and see first box output. Okay, first, so that you know the idea of how it's rendering. Okay, so here pricing, so I'm going to the index page, and here what we'll do here, okay, so let me use this pricing. Okay, and then go back to here. You see here it's kind of like too much left, so what we'll do here is like I will wrap it in the flex box and give padding in all direction, in X direction, so that it will look good. So how I'm talking about is, so here instead of just rendering pricing like this, I'll use the flex here. Okay, flex, and give padding X direction as a 4. Okay, and the padding Y direction I'll give it as something like 10, and the max width will go with the container. Okay, so large. Okay, and the width will give it as 100%, and then margin X as auto, so that it will be in the center. Okay, so here I will wrap this pricing component. So let's see now, at least it should look good now, because we're giving padding in both direction and also margin X is auto. So now if you go back, you see this, it's looking good now. So now we have to add the other component, so let's add that. So just go back to this pricing component and beneath this box we'll add one more box and add the rest of it. So the same we will create one more box and give background color for this as white and border same. Okay, so that is 4 pixel solid black, and give some border radius same will give us a 10, and also the padding. Okay, padding I'll give us 8, and then transition like same as the above one, just all 250 milliseconds. Okay, fine. So here you see 1 second, I'll show you this output here. So you see here it is kind of in it's kind of a tag. Okay, so there is a tag component readily available from ChakraUI, so we'll use that and render here. Okay, so I'll show you how to use that. So first, so here there is a tag component, so we just have to give some padding, like y direction I'll give us 1, and padding in the x direction is 3, and the shadow I'll give it as a semi bold, and the border will give border for this. Okay, again so lighter 2 pixel this time, and solid and the same black. Okay, and color of the text I will make it as a black itself, and then background color what we give here, will give the brand, the custom color which we added, that's banded 500. Okay, and now inside this we'll give the content of the batch. Okay, that is like one studio plus. For now what the content was like. Okay, let's go back some 20 in number. Okay, for now I'll define the random number. Later on we'll use the environment variable so that we can customize the way we wanted. Okay, so I'll give it as a 20 shots. Now if you go back to this section, you should be able to see the batch. Okay, so one studio plus 20 shots, so that's the exactly what you were seeing here. So now we'll go with the next part, that is the pricing section. Okay, so beneath this tag I'll add one more box component, and then here give some margin top for this, and the font weight will make it as a black again, and then font size will make it as a little big, so that is 3.5 rems. Okay, and here the studio price, so it was like, if you go and see, like rupees 590 for studio, so I'll give that. So for now we'll just add here like this. Okay, and then beneath that we had one more slash studio. For that we'll add one more styling like box again, and in that margin left I'll give as 1, so since it has to be towards the right of the 590, and also we'll make it as act as a span tag of HTML, and make font weight as 500, and the color I'll give it as a gray color. Okay, so like color gray, like cool gray, not color, like let's see something like 400. Okay, and then font size will make it a little smaller, that is 1.2 rems. Okay, and inside this I will give the content like kind of like stash studio, like it's a pricing for each studio how much it costs. So now if you go back and check this, okay, yeah, you see here it was 590 per studio, so that's the exactly what we saw. Now the next thing is pending, so we will complete that as well. So going back, just beneath this outside of these two boxes, okay, we will create a list of the kind of points. Okay, make this again, the list comes from ChakraUI. Okay, and give some margin top as 2. Okay, so that there will be enough space between the above content, and give margin bottom as well 4, so that it will not touch our border, and spacing it between each as 1. Okay, fine. So now inside this we will create one reusable component kind of called like a check list item, because you see here there was like the icon here and then the content. So since it's like kind of the looks like reused component, so we will create one component and reuse that for all our points. Okay, so what I will do here, I'll just above this I will define that component. So let's name that as something checklist item. Okay, this one. And then for this input params will give us the children, and this would be of type react node. Okay, fine. So I should import React. Okay, and then here we would render that list item. Okay, so that is list item, and inside this I would use the list icon component and give some font size. For this font size I'll make it as extra large. Okay, and then as the badge check, that is high badge check from React icons. Okay, and then once this is closed, so here the content of children. Okay, so I'm give you some space. Okay, so this is the component. Okay, you see here list item and then the icon, that is like tick mark, and then the content we pass to this component. So now we'll use that component here in this list. Okay, so in this list component I will use this the component just we have created, that is check the list item, and here the content for each item we pass like make this as a bold. Okay, and then write the points. Okay, we can write whatever the point, so I'll just write whatever the point I have written. So studio with custom trained model. Okay, so that is first point, and then so I'll just show you the first point so that you will get an idea. Okay, so see, if you see the icon and the content. Okay, like that we'll write 4 more points, and it will be good enough to have a look at it. Okay, so the second point again, second point was this just 20 avatars 4K generation. Okay, so we'll just give that as 20 avatars 4K generation. Okay, fine. So that is second list check mark. Okay, and then third one I'll use like again the number inside this 30 AI prompts assist. Okay, using that OpenAI. Okay, and then then two more items, checklist items. Okay, then we'll write this as a craft your own prompt, left to your imagination. Okay, however you want to visualize yourself, and then the point just something like okay, fine. So if you go ahead and see now this point, so you see the points whichever we had it are reflected here. These are the so if you see here, this was the pricing component, and the above one was the features component. So this mostly this is set in the home section. Only thing we are pending is like this is not if you see here it's almost done, except that there is a header and also the footer. So this would be common for every page. So we will in the next video we'll get started with the header component and the footer component, and see how we can make it as a common for all pages across our application. Okay, so this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Please stay tuned for this channel. There will be a lot more upcoming videos coming on this channel. Thank you.